Zookeepers of Reddit, how are the animals acting differently now that there are no visitors to the zoo? Like us to read you more awesome Reddit topics? Just like and subscribe to our channel. Most of our animals are happy as long as we can keep their routines, feeding times, etc. For some they need a little extra. We do public encounters with our koalas, wombats and snakes among others, so we spend an hour or so a day cuddling and handling these animals to keep them happy. A few of our koalas really fret if they don't get their cuddles. Otherwise we just try to continue to spend time with animals that are expecting human interaction, and of course we can take things for walks around the place like I'm sure you've seen at other zoos. Our wombats love a run and sniff. Dingoes as well. Your job is to cuddle koalas. And I'm stuck in home all alone. At least you don't have chlamydia. Kangaroo Islands koalas are the only chlamydia-free population in Australia. Not to mention you'd be hard-pressed to catch it unless you were doing unspeakable things to a koala. Eyes. Stop that. In our local zoo, the apes started to miss the visitors, so they brought in an artist and who's now just painting in the empty monkey house so the apes have someone to watch. They need a TV and Sesame Street. Just put on a Planet of the Apes marathon and they'll be happy 4 hours. Don't give them ideas. No, give them ideas. An ape uprising would fit right with the, bushfires, the US, Iran standoff, coronavirus pandemic, monkey gangs roaming the streets in search of food, a cruise ship sinking an armed naval vessel, radioactive forest fires. I mean, it would be pretty boring if we didn't have an ape uprising, honestly. Remember the chimp that ripped the face off a friend of its owner? Just a reminder to continue at least 6 feet of social distancing, especially around chimps and other wild animals. Imagine what a crocodile or alligator could do. For a lot of our animals, having the ability to interact with guests is actually extremely important. Even for primates to be able to play with kids through the glass, they are missing out on a lot of enrichment. Guests keep a lot of the monkeys entertained. I watch our guests all day long show our marmosets and capuchin selfie cameras, and they love to see their reflection. Guests will also show videos on their phones to animals, and the monkeys totally enjoy it. We have a rescue cockatoo named Ro who sings "Row, row, row your boat" to guests. When little kids dance and sing it to her, she gets really excited and feeds off their energy. So do our other cockatoos on exhibit, but now without guests to show off for. Every now and then when it's quiet we'll hear her start "Row, row, row," and then she stops and huffs a bit and gets really quiet and sad, because she has no one to sing to. Some of our animals really miss having kids to show off for. You also have to remember that animals in zoos for the most part have grown up totally accustomed to being around people 24/7. They're not wild animals at all really. They've grown up in a very different social dynamic. Quite a few animals get noticeably depressed in the winter months every year when we have few guests, and then perk up in the spring when we get busy. Any chance you could leave stream Ro and see if she'll sing? I'll happily be her audience. Oh my gosh, I would love to. She's so hard to get a video of sometimes, because she's very sporadic when she decides to sing. But I'll definitely try. LOL, a Zoom meeting with a parrot. For charity, there is a farm, Sweet Farm, in CA that now offers a goat to pop into a corporate Zoom meeting. It's so fun, boss. Okay, so here's a project worth of 16 hours and you'll have to be finished by tomorrow. Goat has entered the meeting. Goat. Due to temporary staff cuts, they no longer have the people to regularly walk the wombats. Some of the wombats are holding the keepers personally responsible. Imagine having a 20-kilogram chunk of muscle with big rodent teeth mad at you. Can confirm. I'm not happy with the current situation. Oh shit. They are amongst us. Giving the wombats internet access is an interesting experiment in animal enrichment. It may have been a mistake not blocking Peanhub, though. The credit card charges have been astronomical. I'll be a volunteer wombat walker. Same. I love wombats with my life. They're so cute. My girlfriend is a zookeeper and animal behaviorist. She says their animals are becoming stressed. One of their African gray birds has been plucking his own feathers. She also mentioned that, because they can't touch many of the animals due to the virus potentially spreading to another zookeeper, many of the animals are looking and acting depressive, not eating well, etc. That's it everyone. You're making the birds sad. Y'all are in timeout. But them being in timeout is what's making the birds sad. God damn it. This made me sad. I'm terrified of birds, but they still need love too, damn it. My wife works at the gift shop for our zoo, and the other day we had to go move some stuff around in the store, because due to some heavy rains, it had flooded a bit. Of course we took a lap around the empty park, other than the keepers and few maintenance workers, and found that all the animals were really active and playful. A lot of them seemed really curious about us too. I'm sure they get used to seeing crowds every day and were starving for attention. I've been in a zoo early when no one else was around and the animals were all super active and engaging. Yeah? They usually get fed in the mornings, so there is a lot of foraging going on. Personally, my favorite time to go is on a sunny winter day. BC, they stay active throughout the day as opposed to the summer where they stay up long enough to eat and then find some shade. I certainly don't blame them, or maybe 2 people is a more manageable number to approach. If I see 1 cat on a footpath, I'm going to try and make a new friend. If I see 12, I'm going to cross the road to avoid them. Speak for yourself. I've encountered 4 black cats one day biking home from the gym. Superstition won over and I just slowly crossed the street. When the hell do you see a group of cats on the street? As a zookeeper coordinator, I've been working at the now closed zoo almost every day for the past month. Animals that are free roaming, peacocks, iguanas, are more active and follow keepers around like they usually do with visitors. Most of the others don't show much change in behavior, although birds like swans and flamingos are using the edges of their habitats more. True. I haven't found much change in pets or those animals that are being well taken care of. I have noticed that this has mostly affected stray animals whose only source of food was by eating all they found on the streets, parks. Since nobody is around, they don't get food, sad face. I do my best by feeding like 10-12 stray dogs who come to eat at our farm. It makes my day watching them eat. Hello there. Y'all have to get married now. I work on an activity farm. There is a 22-year-old Shire horse. He acts like a dong when there are customers around. With no customers, he's actually still a dong. That being said, he's still awesome. There was a horse at the stables where my daughter used to ride. He would pretend like he needed to pee just to get out of having to make a go around the ring. The teacher would start counting and he would either start moving or pee. LOL. He was hilarious. Edited to add. Wow. I'm amazed by the upvotes. I think my most upvoted comment before this was like 250 people. Thanks. How exactly does a horse act when they need to pee? They will stand still, put their hind legs back very far, and pull up their tail and then they wait basically. Username checks out. When I first read it I thought he acted like a duck. And I'm like, how could he act like a duck? I'd like to see that. Now I'm not sure I'll ever see a horse act like a duck. Not a zookeeper, but I hear the lions howl more from my house now. Weirdly reassuring to wake up to and realize the world is still going on. Wait, what? Do you live on the plains of Africa, next to the GW Zoo? Or do you own lions? Nothing that exotic. Sorry to disappoint. I live very close to a large zoo in the UK. No Carol Baskin-esque dramas. The city's gotten pretty quiet with all the events going on, so the zoo noises are a lot more prominent. Can just about see the orangutans rolling about and playing hide and seek with their blankets outside if I shimmy out the Velux onto the roof. Man, that's an oddly great benefit to a house's location. Close enough to visit often, but not close enough to smell the elephant piss. Perfection. I live really close to the city zoo too. Can hear the elephants and lions and flamingos from across the street. To clarify, almost all large cities in Europe have their zoo smack in the middle of the city with houses really close around it. I live in Rotterdam, but if you check out Berlin, Paris, Antwerp, etc., on Google Maps you can clearly see that normal city neighborhoods are built quite near all the outer walls. If I could stand on the roof of my house I could look right into the animal enclosures near the historic front entrance. Parking and such is all at the back where they made a new entrance and created new parts of the zoo adjacent to a park. Rotterdam has a really pretty zoo with nice spacious enclosures also. I'm just trying to see the penguins walk around the zoo in person, man. That's all I want. You can meet the penguins at the zoo where I used to work. It's just outside Chicago. If you happen to find yourself there after this quarantine, they get to choose whether or not to interact with you, of course. But they will generally choose to, because you have fish, which is their favorite quality in a person. Because you have fish, which is their favorite quality in a person. I get this. My daughter's favorite quality in a person is that they are a doggy. Mine too. I knew that penguins had to be gentlefolk of taste, given how snappily they dress all the time. As food is an excellent quality to look for in a prospective friend. In the Magellan Strait, near the city of Punta Arenas, Chile, there is a colony of penguins. The place is called Magdalena Island. It hosts around 60,000 families, which range from 3 to 4 individuals. You have to take a 2-hour ferry to the island and then get an hour there, where you can choose between going to a lighthouse or stay within the trail and see penguins going about their penguin leaves. They are cute and mischievous as frick. I worked as a guide there a couple of times and I'd see those little assholes biting tourists' fingers and even stealing purses and whatnot. They're awesome. I loved working those tours.